It was like a slow epiphany over the time. I guess started as far back as before I was even on the school board. I was seeing that, I was going to football games and we were relying a lot on just pure athleticism, and even in basketball, pure athleticism to win events. And we had several very talented kids staying on the sideline, either crutched, like I said, in slings with a concussion or what have you. And I kind of shared it with another administrator. I said, kind of enough's enough. We got to get back to what we had when we were in high school, which is an in-season, in-school weight training class. We've got to fix this. We've got the knowledge here to fix it. We have the right people that can carry out the mission. We just have to get it moving in the right direction. I'm Josh Hobbs. I'm the school board president for Waverly City Schools. Coach Crabtree and I are both former graduates of Waverly High School. We both have spent a lot of time under the bar in the school facilities over the years. He ran track for my dad in high school, so we've known each other for years. And so we continue to bounce ideas off each other for the last several years about our program and where we envisioned it being as a whole product, not just football in particular, but as a school system. We were getting pushed all over the football field, and the injuries were mounting, because when you're taking a butt kicking physically, you're getting pushed around, then obviously the injuries start to develop really in any sport. And I kind of saw that, and Coach Crabtree and I had been talking about this for years. So at that point, I made it a mission of myself and a couple other board members and the superintendent. At the time was an assistant superintendent. I said, we've got to fix this. We've got the knowledge here to fix it. We have the right people that can carry out the mission. We just have to get it moving in the right direction, and that's kind of what we did. So the class, the in-school class, and the purchase of a lot of new equipment started, festering in some discussion, and then it started gaining traction when I addressed the Board of Education about that and the leadership that all these other schools have something established. May not be what I want us to have, but they've got a little bit of something going. So we made our first wave of purchase and from Elite FTS, and then obviously the class was started as a couple periods a day, and then it began to morph into what is now full day, 8 periods a day, where all the athletes have the ability to get at least a quality workout in during their school day. And so we're addressing the 3-sport athlete, the 2-sport athlete. They're at least able to do some quality strength and conditioning work during their school day. Well, in school finance, it's where's the money going to come from? We had a little bit of an initial fundraiser. We set an initial budget that we were willing to commit to as a school district, and then we balance that out with some donations from local businesses to get that first initial purchase of what I would call quality equipment that had some graphics to it. As you see, kids dig, look good, feel good, play good is my motto. That's what I think goes now. So, a bland gray rack with nothing on it maybe doesn't really matter in the end, but these kids see their team logo on it. They see the orange and black colors. They were extremely excited when this all was delivered. They were jumping up and down. They helped offload that first wave of equipment. So we had an initial budget of I don't know if it was $10,000 to $12,000, and then with the rest being donations from the public. But at that time, when it was becoming a part of the curriculum was able to justify more of the purchasing for the other equipment. It becomes a PE class. So there is PE curriculum money. So once it became a PE class, we could justify the purchase of this equipment. And as it grew and the needs expanded, we were able to just develop a budget for that class, or have an expectation that we're going to spend money for this class each year. And it just grew. And then once it gained traction, it just took off. And then we started seeing the kids registering for the class, and then it just took off from there. Well, Elite FTS is kind of a standard. Me being at that time a Joe DeFranco disciple and going through his CPPS program, he had all elite FTS equipment. I thought, it looked solid, quality, but there was customization available. And I thought, kids like this stuff. The graphics, cool uniforms, that's what they like now. It's modern day. It's a modern day expectation of kids. So I reached out to Matt Goodwin, talked to Matt a little bit, and Matt and I developed almost a friendship throughout the years over this now. So I got a lot more personalization in terms of customer service from Matt, and just Matt will give you his true and honest opinion on stuff. It's not like, I'm going to sell you something. Matt, well, I would do this if I were you, or I wouldn't go that route. So I like that personal touch, and I like the ability to customize equipment rather than just buy a piece of equipment that was just the way it was. We were able to make it look like the kids would want it to look. We have a large incoming freshman class with all sports, extremely large in football, but the freshman class incoming has a lot of athletes participating in all sports, female and male. So we are going to have to make some accommodations for the class and even for the facility that we're in right now to handle the larger group of kids. So Matt will be coming down to, we'll be doing some measuring and probably some graphic work to look at how we can squeeze more equipment in to handle the classes growing in size. We had shrunk those classes down to 12, 16 kids a class to manage them better. And then we're going to inherently grow. We're not going to turn kids down. So we're going to have to make sure we have enough equipment for them to get, and particularly racks. You can't have, in my opinion, enough racks. That's a workstation. So we're going to have to find enough room, enough racks. But we also want to make sure we have enough, particularly posterior chain equipment and stuff where kids can actually do some assistance work, some auxiliary work, and not just stick in a rack, So it takes some jockeying. We've jockeyed it around numerous times to adjust the numbers, and it's a good problem to have. But we have the funding currently, because this is done so well, to be able to handle that. Specialty bars, we're going to get another round of specialty bars this year. We have a new belt squat on order. We've had a lot of luck with utilizing a belt squat for injured athletes. We had a really nice first team All-Ohio running back linebacker a few years ago who had a labrum tear, who used the belt squat exclusively all year long and had a great year coming in anyway. So we want to accommodate those kids. So I look at that every year. New specialty bar comes out that I think that can be of use. I'll talk to Nate Harvey, I'll talk to Matt and get their input on it, and kids get excited. They see something new sitting in there when they come in, something different.
Would you bench press heavy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and expect to be any good on Friday? So then why the hell do you beat the shit out of your kids in practice? And so this is the kind of thinking that we had. And it's unbelievable how dumb football is sometimes in regards to practice and training.
Jim Windler made a very nice presentation this year, and he talked about how jacked up kids are nowadays. And that's something else I saw as part of this class vision, is kids that have poor posture, tight hip flexors, they're weak glutes and all these things. They can't do push-ups, they can't do basic movements, they can't hinge their hips. And so they're coming into school, high school, trying to compete in athletics with a lot of issues existing that are going to be predispose them to injury. And that's something that I agreed with him wholeheartedly when he talked about that. And you have to address that, and that's something that in the class that they're addressing, a lot of that upper back weakness, hip flexors, weak glutes. And so I know that that's an issue. But then also Joe DeFranco talks about you only have so much time with these kids, so you have to make the most of it. So that's where the use of specialty bars and other equipment, we've been able to, there's not a one-size-fits-all. And so I think that we've been able to accommodate just about every type of kid with any issue, whether they have to exclusively use a belt squat, whether they can only goblet squat, whether they have to use a specialty bar to bench all the time. There's some issue, we're able to accommodate whatever that is with the equipment we have. So I think that rings true for us as we're able to accommodate anybody we have here.